What is up, everybody? This is Tikwe, also known as Richard, and I'm coming back to you guys here after a while of being, I don't know, a little bit silent, I have to say, on channel. Just because I'll blame it on Elden Ring, firstly, and secondly, work has just been very hard over the last few days. But that's not an excuse. I am here to give you guys great content, and I hope you enjoy this video. If you do enjoy it, please do leave a like and subscribe. It really helps to just start the channel. It's a brand new channel. We're slowly building up to that 4,000 viewing hours that we kind of need to get monetized and so on. But it's a long-term project that I'm busy with. Nothing crazy. It is a game that I absolutely love. And I hope you guys enjoy the content. So we are playing the Holy Roman Empire, and the map is called King of the Hill. So specifically what you'll find with this map is you have this hill in the middle with a lot of the main resources as well as the sacred side, and it is the only sacred side in the game. Very easy to defend it, if you will, off the side here, and especially like here. Then you have this single choke point possibly in the middle, which would be this big open area right here. But one of the comments that I had recently on my video was about the build order. So in this specific game, I'm just going to go to my normal view here. You can see we have the first scout down here, second scout down here. I wanted to play a little more with the men-at-arm rush, and I know that's quite a nice strength of the Holy Roman Empire, even though they are more of a defensive playstyle. So you can see right here, we're sitting on 7 villagers and the prelate. So basically build order, which I would post at the end of the video, just a nice little big screenshot that you guys can just pause and keep as a build order guide. You can see the scouts are catching up sheep, but what we did is we trained our first scout to compete with that scout, and because we are playing against the Roost, we kind of wanted to deny them gold as well as deny them early food. So you can see there the scout is just standing there actually of the enemy, but what they are busy focusing on is trying to get you'll see probably a double scout on their side as well. Yep, first scout right here, second scout right here. And what they're trying to do is they're looking for wolves, and they are looking for deer camps like this. So each deer or each unit that they kill gives them bounty, as you can see down here. Sheep gives you 5 gold, deer 10 gold, wolves 25 gold, and a boar 75. So they essentially can just focus on wood and food in the beginning of the game with virtually 0 gold farming, while they use all of this gold resources. You can see there alone it's 130 gold plus a wolf, so that would be 155 just on this little front deer. Actually there's another one, 14, so 165 gold right there, and that's right next to your base. You don't even have to go very far to get all of that gold. Any additional wolves or so on that they find in the map would be even more gold for them. And then you see here's more wolves, and then later on you see here's another deer camp. He's already picking off. You'll see that you get the gold from that. That's standard Roost playstyle, nothing crazy there. And another deer camp right here. Personally, you'll see I didn't really go for contesting that because it's a lot of micromanaging, and I honestly am not that good. I'm a top 1000 player, not a top 500 player. So we are trying to, progress down the ranks as the game goes on. But yeah, I'll show you what I did right here. So I had my villagers right here on the food, right? So we had up to 8 villagers. First to scout, then first scout, then the prelate, then the villagers, right? So you want to keep that villager production up, obviously. So you want to get that food supply up to the 400 mark, obviously. You can see this nice little haul of 11 sheep that we got because we had the double scouts out. But the nice thing is we started moving those villagers over that are inspired by the first prelate over to the gold mine. So these 4 villagers on the gold mine are inspired, so you can get that faster gold up. Now, once that happened, we moved, what was it? I think it was 4 initially onto the wood. But you can see there's 6 villagers now on the wood. specifically to go for infrastructure with the housing as well as barracks. You'll see the barracks in the house right here immediately. So what we are trying to do is the timing of the Mineswork Palace is going to be up very quickly, and we want to use the Mineswork Palace because it gives you a it acts as a blacksmith, but it gives you a research cost reduction of 25%. So all those little men-at-arms upgrade and necessary upgrades we need early on are going to be a lot less expensive. And now you can see we're slowly building up that villager count again right here. So the goal is to get the double barracks out with these high villagers on wood early on, and then progress up to starting your food production or getting the food production up again, so you can actually focus on building those men-at-arms. You don't need wood for men-at-arms, you actually just need 100 food and 20 gold. So we have the gold from the 4 right here and the prelate inspiring them, so the gold will never run out, it's more than enough. But we need a very high food supply, so you want to focus on about 13 villagers, 13, 14 villagers on food. That would be sufficient. So you'll see the second barracks will be done quite close to the time that the Mineswork Palace will be done. And that specifically is to make sure that we can get these double early men-at-arms out as fast as possible, and use the Mineswork Palace to use the gold that we already have to get those upgrades out. This is a much more aggressive playstyle as the Holy Roman Empire. Technically, typically they like going for a more defensive playstyle, but because we are playing against the Rus do like playing aggressive, and they do like going for these relics, and because they have those warrior monks which is on horseback, I did not want to contest these relics over this long distance. As you can see, I have 2 really nice relic spawns down here, a third one right here which is really nice. He has a very close one to his base right here, and pretty far kind of in the middle one up here. So I would say this one up here and this one down here is the contested ones, and we got lucky with the extra one right here. So that's going to be important to focus on that, but I'll show you the current resources, right? Without him touching a single gold farm, you can see how heavy he is on the food, right? On the wood right here, and the berries. He has not touched gold, but he still had enough gold to build his golden gate. And now he can start progressing into very aggressive military production, which is very standard for the Rus. You can see already he's sitting on a double barracks and actually an archery range and a double barracks from his side. So he's going to contest very hard against the military. And unfortunately, I only got back with 1 sheep. We got back with the 11 earlier and a few extra from the second scout. Excuse me. And now you can see those men-at-arms are coming up. Now what you want to focus on with the men-at-arms is getting those upgrades. You can see all of those upgrades are queued. Firstly, we are starting with the fitted leatherwork, then we're going into the marching drills, which will give them that nice little sprint to catch enemies, 10% movement speed of infantry or they increase the movement speed by 10%, but it's quite a nice charge that they kind of do to catch up to any units they are attacking. And now you can see he's going over, Big Pegman here is going over to some gold, but you can see there the archery ranges are coming out. He has the spearman coming out. Specifically, I don't know why he went for spearman, because he has access. Actually, sorry, he does not have access to the early men-at-arms, only in H3. That's actually something I did not know. So we do have the men-at-arms. They actually have access to horse archers, only in H3. So they kind of want to play into that H3. They have a big power spike H3 with these crossbowmen, with the horse archers, and these horse archers are insanely tough to deal with. They also have quite a few unique upgrades in the blacksmith that's quite nice. Here's one of them, increases the health of Rus cavalry by another 20, and they tend to be a very, very strong late game fighting team that can do trash armies like this very effectively because of the sustainability and the trading that they can do, and also because of the little gold investment that they have to do early on. So you get this nice economy lead and villager production from their side, which is not maintaining that well, but it's still important. So on a villager count, you know, we're doing really well. We've been pushing our economy up quite well and trying to get the houses up now. I also built a forward mill right here, so you can actually get that wheelbarrow upgrade. We did not get the mining camp upgrade, we did not get the lumber camp upgrades. You want to keep that gold sum to train your men at arms, not to run out. But the main thing you want to focus on is getting those 4 upgrades, specifically if you see heavy armor on the enemy side, if it's like I would say the French or something, then you obviously want to, you know, get the armor upgrades earlier than the attack upgrades. And we're not getting the steeled arrow because we have 0 arrowmen or crossbowmen or even an archery range in this comp. We're just going for the men-at-arms push into the battering rams. So we are waiting for the siege engineering, and that's why I did it third. So the siege engineering can be up as soon as our mass is ready. And the goal is about 20 men-at-arms. So you can see just from a quick scouting perspective, let's go to cinematic mode here. If you look at the map, we wanted information. That's more important than anything in the game, because we want to know, does he have an army that we need to worry about? And does he have, you know, horsemen or archers, or what specifically is he going for? So we're sitting on 14 men-at-arms, each man-at-arm having 120 health and the nice level upgrades, busy with the siege engineering. So he is planning to push in forward, so he did go very aggressively in the early stage, and this is a formidable army, you know. They can deal with horsemen very effectively, which will protect their archers, but we bring our men-at-arms forward, which is very strong counter for this early army, kind of baiting them out with the scout here, and we keep our scouts just on the edge of the base so we can see what exactly he's doing and know if there's any advantage or disadvantages that we need to focus on. So you can see we don't need to worry about a blacksmith because we do have a blacksmith. The siege engineering is going to come up right now. Before we go to attack, you know, you can see we're sitting on 12 villagers on the wood line, 10 villagers on the food because that sheep is starting to run low. Probably going to expand to a closer deer camp, which you would see right here. He obviously picked it off, but it does show you the little icon you can see here on the map, and that will allow you to know exactly where these are, especially when they do kill them early on. So we have our men-at-arms here, and you call this a little ram dance. If there's too many of them, they'll kind of run around it, but we want to keep trying to get this up because we don't want to lose this men-at-arms advantage that we do have. So we're kind of playing for time, sacrificing a few units here, but you can see how much tanking a single man-at-arms is doing versus, you know, essentially 18 units, right? So because we have that little sprint, you can see how quickly we thin out this unit, and we're trying to get the battle rams up so we can actually apply some pressure, cause idle times if he has to pull villagers. But now you can see he's going for a double stable so he can contest with the early knights, because he actually does have the gold here. You can see he's sitting on 330 gold, so he can train up some early knights as well. So we're using more men-at-arms to pick off these archers and thin out this army. You know, these men-at-arms, they won't take damage from these archers, only dealing 5 damage each. So I'm just going to pause. When they deal 5 damage each, we already have the ranged armor upgrade, which is 4. So each archer only does 1 damage to a single man-at-arms. So if that's 6 archers, that's 6 damage against a unit with 120 health. So they're going to take quite some time to pick through these men-at-arms with the upgrades. Same goes for the spearmen, which, you know, are even weaker. You know, they have 8 damage, so they'll do a little bit more against the men-at-arms, but, you know, the men-at-arms with the 4 melee armor, they'll only take 4 damage per spearman, so very strong to pick off these units very early on. And now you can see what I mean. You know, there's some villagers going down. He has all these villagers at the back here on wood, and he's starting to train up the early knights, which is a great call from his side. But we still have 7 of those initial, which were 14 men-at-arms. You know, just 14 men-at-arms and a single 1 or 2 rams was a lot of early pressure. So while that's going on, don't stop your military production. You can see we kind of ran idle here. Those villagers stopped farming, and for some reason I placed down a mill and they did not build it. So we have 12 villagers idling right here trying to micro that. I don't know why it happens. Sometimes you select them, you build the mill, and then the mill just cancels out on its own. So he's sitting on the 3 knights, early knights here, a few spearmen, so he's trying to get rid of these men-at-arms, but again, you know, we did get the reinforcements of the men-at-arms. We're not sending them forward yet. We're trying to keep high numbers when we do reinforce. And also at the same time, we're trying to push up to the 3rd age if our pressure is not gonna, you know, end again. So right now we're trying to get down the town center, sitting at half health, but these men-at-arms, you know, is still very, very low health, but able to do substantial damage against these early knights, and that's lost resources on his side. We did what we wanted to with our resources. We applied the early pressure, we picked off a few villagers, we created idle time for his villagers, you know, and at the same time we thinned out his army, so there's no pressure to expect from him. We brought in some more reinforcements. You can see the 3 extra there, that's high health. And that's just making sure that this continuous early on pressure can be sustained. So now he has to pull all these wood villagers to come and assist with repairing. He does have the wood, obviously 1,700 wood. He's not going to run out of wood with repairing. Pick off a scout right there, and now we want to go for that H3. You'll quickly see I stopped with the production. I'm still sending men-at-arms forward to keep this early pressure and try and get rid of these early early knights that he has, but also trying to force these villagers to kind of stop farming. So if they stop farming, that's idle time, and that's all we wanted to do. Is we wanted to finish the game, yes, if you can. If they had less of an infrastructure or they were somewhat less aggressive, they would not have been able to defend this. So they quickly pick off one of my scouts here. I did actually not see that. But now we have those villagers on the food here, 22 villagers on the food, because we are rushing. We're also building a market to stabilize our economy, because obviously we're sitting on way too much gold. We only need 600 gold and 1,200 food to get into that 3rd age. So if you think of it from our perspective right now, we know we did a lot of damage here. We know we affected his resources quite heavily. Obviously he has the high wood because he's been farming trees non-stop right here. But there you can see we do hit that H3, and we don't want to rush it too much because we also want to focus on upgrading the men-at-arms and using them effectively. So I'm scared of the men-at-arms, the early knights that he does have. So I moved my men-at-arms forward to protect this advantage point and the Reginald's Cathedral that we are building. And you'll see a few of these men-at-arms will slowly start moving over to the food line right here to kind of defend the food that is right here. But there you can see they're coming down. We don't need too much because they do have those melee upgrades and they do quite a lot of damage. So they can defend against those early knights that they have. You know, it's probably a good idea to have about 5 men-at-arms right here. But we do have those men-at-arms just kind of having something to defend these villagers if a counterattack had to happen right now. Which is very unlikely because he's already running low, and we knew he was attacking with early knights, so we transition into some spearmen and then into the upgrades again. So now the goal is, you'll see the wood line here was finished. We move those villagers over to the wood line right here, and these villagers are all on the food, which is great. So we're balancing out on 12 and 18. The reason why we have so high wood is so we can actually focus on getting those rams out when we need to. And it's also a comfortable resource to trade early on because you do get 70 gold for that, and it's much easier to get that out than to just farm gold, which is very exposed right now. But the thing is, for the Holy Roman Empire, the main focus right now, because we have the advantage. As you can see, the first prelate is out here, second prelate is out here. We already know that we have the advantage because we had that early raid, and now we are going to reach H3 before him. And because we are in H3, now we pick up the first relic there, second relic right here, and those relics are immediately going down to Residence Cathedral. You can see this is the Pigman is not a new player. He is an experienced player because he actually uses those early knights to pick off this prelate right here, and I lose the first relic. He cannot contest it because he does not have the third landmark, which would be his palace, but you'll see that will come up eventually on his side. But now we're sitting again on that nice little 13-14 men at arms, and we knew the knights were in kind of in this general area, so we want this relic. We send them forward to defend this, just in case he goes up to a third age and starts contesting these relics. You know, from a Holy Roman Empire, you can see with the Residence Cathedral, you get 200% extra gold per minute from having those relics inside here. So with one, that's 200 gold per minute, and you can see now comfortably sitting at 400 plus gold per minute. All of that wood that we are farming so effectively transitioning into farms, which is a late game form of food. We already picked up the berries right here, we picked up the deers right here, and now we're going into farms. That is the next step if your early food is depleted. You know, you can go for a big food source like this. You can see all the deer carcasses here, plus the berries, which is a nice form of food, but it is very exposed and very undefended, and we kind of don't want to do that right now. So this is quite nice. I did not even see this wall, but you can see how difficult it is to defend on this map because of these little choke points. Sometimes you can sneak past right here, or these little aisles. You can come all the way through this tree line to the back here. You have another access point right here, and it's wide. It's a whole open field right here to get in. Here he did wall off, which is quite nice, and he has the 7 early knights to defend. And now all we're trying to do is defend the relics. That's all we're doing with the military force right now. You can see the first group right there was defending this relic that we're going to pick up very shortly here. There's the prelate coming in, and then once he's done, he's going to move down to go pick up this relic right here. So we're not causing any or contesting anything or trying to probe him to come and attack us, but we know our men-at-arms are really upgraded now. You can see we got those extra upgrades. The first one was the insulated helms and the decarbonization, and then into military academy, which will train units faster. But now it's starting to get really dominant to get these men-at-arms upgraded, but with a few spearmen we'll be able to deal with these early knights, and he has the archers to back it up. But remember, these men-at-arms are upgraded, so these archers are not going to do any damage against these men-at-arms. The knights are going to do the bulk of the damage, and we have the spearmen to assist them. So this is just to stop the relics, make him nervous, force him to play defensively, force him to invest resources into military and not into aging up. You can see a really nice second town center that he has up here. So he's really stabilizing quite well for someone who was raided early on and lost all those villages. So now you can see we're sending those units forward, causing pressure, picking up these units, causing damage, making him lose economy, and at the same time all we built military-wise was 2 barracks. He has a double stable, he has a double barracks plus archery range and a blacksmith to defend. But just with those double barracks, we've trained all our military to defend this. Another quick strategy to as you can see right here is I garrison the military inside the ram, and they are then able to not take damage while the ram soaks the damage, especially effective against archers. But we're using the men-at-arms now just to keep these knights off of the rams. You can see here's more, and we have the landcannons also out. They do splash damage against units, and you can see he's getting rid of the rams. He's seeing the pressure coming in, And now we do have that the men-at-arms upgrade, so it's standard men-at-arms, not early men-at-arms, and we do have those +2 upgrades, and now going for the military academy. So that's a really high lead on him regarding that. We even took out his blacksmith now, so I can't see what upgrades he has, but he has the farms, you know, he has the gold income. Also, when you're building hunting cabinets as the roost, build them close to the woodlines because you get gold from the amount of trees that's in this ring. If we go over to them, you see that little ring right there? That ring needs to cover trees, and because it covers trees, you'll get gold from that. So now we have those rams going for 3 rams, still not more than 14 men-at-arms, really not a big army, but a very strong upgraded army. And now they have those very nice maces, which does more damage against heavy units. You can see there +6 versus cavalry, which is perfect to counter this. And the spearmen obviously are there, and the next upgrade is the second one right here. I can't remember the name, but that's also another military upgrade that further increases the men-at-arms against these heavy units. So he cannot attack or defend this with these men-at-arms because I counter the cavalry, I counter the archers. They are just very, very tanky, and we have the rams that works at soaking the damage. You saw I garrisoned inside the battering ram, and as soon as he gets too close, we rush in to do some damage and then get back to defend the main attack. So the rams are the things that are going to win the game, not the units, because the units will just get picked off by the town center, but the units can defend the rams, and the rams obviously with high siege damage are going to do much more damage to buildings than what the units are. So from this perspective, you can see how quickly the knights are just falling away. You know, they are not going to survive against these men-at-arms. I'm still sitting on 8 men-at-arms. A few landcannons in here, they do quite a lot of damage, sitting on 16 damage, +10 siege obviously. Standard siege for units, but they have a lot of damage against group units, right? So now he's going for another repair, and this is basically where we can call good game, because we have 3 rams in, we soaked up his whole army. He's training crossbowmen to try and defend these, you know, armored units, but still, because of all the upgrades and the age advantage, he's not going to be able to defend this. So I hope this game kind of shows you guys how effective Holy Roman Empire can be as an aggressive playstyle instead of just a defensive playstyle. But there is a lot of room for errors, I want to say, in the Holy Roman Empire. It's a very, very comfortable, I want to say, early faction to learn that will allow you to win more games and kind of learn the game of Age of Empires pretty well. And we basically had at most maybe 14 men-at-arms, and not that much of a investment for what we were able to do against this player. So you see he went with the Abbey of the Trinity or something like that, but that's this little thing that creates the warrior monks. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. That was the Holy Roman Empire versus the Rus. I hope you enjoyed the game. Please do leave a like and subscribe, and you will see the build order very shortly. Thank you very much. Bye bye.